I often find myself wondering about my childhood imaginary friend, Jake. It's funny, really, because my name is Jacob, and I suppose I was quite literal in my choice of companion. Jake and I shared many adventures during my youth. Growing up with only sisters, I longed for a brother to play with, and in stepped Jake to fill that void. We spent countless hours playing with toys and sharing stories before drifting off to sleep. Jake was my source of comfort, a guardian who protected me from the ominous presence of the red-eyed man lurking in my closet. This dynamic persisted for a good 2 or 3 years, even after the red-eyed man vanished. Yet, there were moments when Jake seemed less than benevolent. I remember times when he appeared angry, like the night he seemed to be choking me as I lay in bed. Another instance was when I felt an overwhelming sense of malevolence in the room, whether it was day or night. One day, while waiting at the dentist's office, my older sister and I stumbled upon an article discussing imaginary friends. The article recounted how one boy's imaginary friend had tormented his family to the point of them having to move. My sister then recalled the night she saw something looming over me as I slept, a memory that sent shivers down my spine. That revelation terrified me, prompting me to sever ties with Jake then and there, albeit after the dental checkup, of course. Upon returning home, I entered the room and firmly told Jake that our friendship was over and that he should leave. The details of what happened next are a bit hazy, but I distinctly remember feeling an unsettling presence during our final visit to our apartment after Hurricane Katrina, particularly in what used to be my bedroom. Jake was still there and his anger was palpable. I haven't encountered him much since then, and I sincerely hope it remains that way. Fast forward to the present, I now have a 2-year-old son who occasionally points to the air and babbles as if conversing with an unseen entity. While I'm not necessarily afraid, given my past experiences, I can't help but hope that neither Jake nor the red-eyed man makes a reappearance anytime soon. I pray that nothing more sinister finds its way into our lives.
When I was around 11 years old, my family lived in a house where I shared a room with my 16-year-old sister. Everything seemed normal until one unsettling night. I was jolted awake by the sound of tapping on the blinds above my head, as if someone or something was gently tapping on the window. Feeling uneasy, I pulled the covers over my head, hoping the noise would cease. But then, I heard the distinct sound of my jewelry box opening and closing on my dresser. Fear gripped me as I realized I was alone in the room with my sleeping sister, and the door was securely shut. Attempting to wake her for comfort proved fruitless as she remained sound asleep, indifferent to my distress. Desperate, I turned to prayer, hoping for solace and protection. As I fervently prayed, the eerie tapping transformed into haunting howls, as if a frantic animal lurked nearby, its cries growing fainter with each passing moment. Even now, at 33 years old, the memory of that night remains vivid in my mind. I hastily abandoned that room the next day, never setting foot in it again. Since then, I've always slept with the TV on, seeking the comfort of light and sound. While I've encountered other strange occurrences over the years, none have matched the sheer terror of that night. I've often wondered if something paranormal has been following me throughout my life or if I possess a heightened sensitivity to the supernatural. I'm left with lingering questions, pondering whether the howling I heard was a manifestation of something sinister or merely a figment of my imagination. I seek reassurance and understanding, wondering if anyone else has experienced something similar or if there's a rational explanation for what I endured that night.
When my friend Kevin passed away at the young age of 19 due to a sudden illness, it left a profound void in our lives. Years later, my boyfriend and I found ourselves sharing a one-bedroom apartment with a close friend who happened to be Kevin's best friend. One night, as I drifted into slumber, I found myself immersed in a dream. The details of its beginning elude me now, but suddenly, the dream shifted, engulfed in a brilliant light. I found myself climbing a staircase, leading to the door of a brightly illuminated apartment. With a sense of familiarity, I opened the door to find Kevin sitting on the couch in the living room, a warm smile gracing his face. I greeted him, and we engaged in conversation, discussing how much we missed him and expressing our love and longing for his presence. However, whenever I broached the topic of his whereabouts, Kevin would gently deflect, mentioning that he couldn't divulge such details. After a few moments of heartfelt exchange, I abruptly awoke in the middle of the night, my surroundings bathed in darkness. Glancing around the room, I noticed my boyfriend sound asleep and our roommate slumbering in his bed. Yet, despite the silence and stillness of the night, I couldn't shake off the lingering sensation that Kevin's presence lingered, as if he were watching over us. In a moment of impulse, I whispered Kevin's name aloud, feeling an inexplicable need to reach out to him, even in the realm of dreams. To my astonishment, my roommate stirred from his sleep, his gaze fixated on me as he inquired if I had just mentioned Kevin. Taken aback, I confessed to having a peculiar dream about our departed friend. To my utter disbelief, my roommate revealed that he too had dreamed of Kevin that very night. As we exchanged details, we were struck by an uncanny realization: we had the same dream on that same night. That night, the boundaries between dreams and reality blurred, leaving us both awestruck and comforted by the inexplicable connection we shared with Kevin, even in his absence.
And with that, we have come to the end of our video. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. This is Ben saying, see you next time.